Welcome back, horror fans. Ready for another round of bone-chilling ghost stories? Buckle up, because these 12 tales are as real as they get. Story 1. A family in Ohio moved into their dream home only to find out it was already occupied by the ghost of a young girl. They'd hear her laughter at night and toys would move on their own. One evening, the parents saw her standing at the foot of their bed, just staring. They moved out the next day. Story 2. In an old hotel in New Orleans, guests frequently report seeing a lady in red. She appears in their rooms, sometimes even sitting at the foot of their beds. She's always crying, and when they try to comfort her, she vanishes. Chilling, right? Story 3. A man in Texas bought an antique mirror at a flea market. Shortly after, he started seeing foggy handprints on the glass. One night, he saw a reflection that wasn't his. The figure in the mirror was a gaunt, hollow-eyed man. He smashed the mirror and buried the pieces in his backyard. Story 4. A group of friends went camping in the Appalachian Mountains. They heard whispers around their tent and saw shadowy figures in the trees. They left immediately, but one friend claims a shadowy figure followed him home. He still sees it in the corner of his room at night. Story 5. A woman in Japan kept finding her furniture rearranged. She thought it was her landlord playing tricks until she set up a hidden camera. The footage revealed a pale, ghostly figure moving her belongings while she slept. She moved out the next day. Story 6. In Scotland, a man rented a cottage near a historic battlefield. He woke up to the sound of marching and clashing swords. When he looked outside, he saw ghostly soldiers fighting a battle that ended centuries ago. Story 7. A couple in England heard footsteps in their attic every night. They found an old diary belonging to a woman who lived there in the 1800s. She wrote about hiding from her abusive husband in the attic. The footsteps stopped after they read the diary aloud. Story 8. A college student in California started noticing cold spots in her apartment. She'd wake up with bruises and scratches. A medium told her the spirit of a jealous ex-tenant was attacking her. She performed a cleansing ritual, and the attacks stopped. Story 9. In a small town in Australia, a family's dog refused to enter one room of their house. They later discovered it was the site of a brutal murder decades ago. The dog's behavior changed only after they held a memorial for the victim. Story 10. A man in New York City saw a woman's face in his window every night. He lived on the 15th floor with no balcony outside. He later learned a woman had jumped from that window years ago. Story 11. A teenager in Canada started seeing a shadowy figure at the end of her bed. It would whisper her name and growl. After a priest blessed her room, the figure never returned. Story 12. Lastly, a woman in Mexico found an old photograph in her attic. It was of a family she didn't recognize. That night, she saw the same family standing in her living room. They disappeared, leaving the photo behind. There you have it, 12 real ghost stories that will haunt you. Think you can handle more? Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more spine-tingling tales. Sweet dreams, if you can sleep.